The crypto market just took a massive dump. In particular, the altcoin market just took a really massive dump. But as we've seen in the past, every time we see a major dip in the markets, buying the dip seems to be a pretty good freaking idea. So today we're going to talk about my favorite altcoins to buy on the dip.
From making millions of dollars as a day trader for 15 years and now mentoring students who are making $18,000 in a day, to making millions running an online course and coaching business and now mentoring students who are making $70,000 per month. I know how to make money online, but it's time to give back. So I'm going to give away over $10,000 worth of my online day trading and entrepreneur courses for absolutely free. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, and I'll be running a small budget of advertisements retargeting people who subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now and be on the lookout for that secret advertisement that will give you access to all my programs for free.
All right, guys, welcome back. Taking a look at Bitcoin. This thing did break all-time highs, and then I posted on my Twitter account back on October 22nd, said the average pullback percent on the last 9 dips on Bitcoin since November 20th is 27%, which would suggest an average pullback to 48,600. That's the data based on price action. And that was back when Bitcoin was still trading above 60K, and now we're below 60K. Is this a bullish or bearish sign to buy the dip, or is this like, okay, shit, we're gonna be pulling all the way back to the 27% average pullback mark of about 48,000? These are the questions that nobody knows the answers to, but as of right now, with it holding up in this support zone at about 57 to 58,000, I think this could be a potentially solid buying area across the board. We did see a lot of strength on a lot of plays. One in particular, which was one that we alerted in our Telegram group at about 22 cents. This thing made a massive rip of about 70%. It hit all 3 of our profit targets. It still has yet to hit the 4th profit target. I am officially fully out of this position, but you can see on October 17th, I alerted this at about 22 cents with my profit targets in place. And then I posted on my Instagram. If you're not following me, go ahead and follow me at Cameron.Fous. I made $40,000 on the one trade. Fully in, fully out, locked it in. Senior Chief, thank you very much. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And then we just saw a massive dump, pulled right back into the 9 and 13 EMAs before making a huge rip of 18% currently on one. So this could definitely still see a massive run to the upside. I don't know if it's over or not, but I love locking in profits. Usually when I don't lock in profits, I regret it every time, which we'll notice here on the next trades that I talk about. But one could definitely see some more upside potential. And that was a great trade. Another one that we already closed out was Sol, and now it is dipping into the 9, 13, and 20 EMA trend support levels, which I think this is a potentially good buy on the dip on SOL. We first initially got in here at about 157, where it broke out that wedge pattern, and then it made that massive run, hitting all 3 of our profit targets. Here on Sol, where I locked in $18,000 in profits in Sol, all alerted 157s. Profit targets here in place with the stops. If you don't know what that is, my Wolf group, Wolf chat, Wolf alerts group, Telegram, if you want to get in on that, it's all my buy signals with profit targets and stop levels in place with an explanation, what the pattern is, why we're in, full details on that to get in the Telegram group with the link below. But those are just a few of the trades that we just closed out on that big run that we just saw in crypto. But now the market is pulled back. So what are the ones that we could potentially be buying now to make some massive profits going forward? So the first one we're going to look at is PBX, of which I actually alerted in my Telegram when we were buying the first dip at about 17 cents here, and then it's retested, hit my first profit target and second profit target. But here's the thing, I didn't lock any profits on this one because I had a little bit higher hope. So I regret not selling here. I regret not selling here, but now I'm actually potentially buying more down here because pattern is still in place. This is pre-breakout of all-time highs, retesting the 9 to 13 to 20 EMAs, which is typically an extremely strong buy the dip zone, as we saw it was last time. Previously, once it came back in that buy the dip zone, when I did buy, we ran up almost 90%. And now we're back in that range where I think we could then hit my 3rd profit target if we do see the bounce here, which would be about another 80% upside for PBX if we do see the bounce, and potentially much higher. These are my profit targets at 0.034, 0.43, and 0.051 on PBX. And we're currently right in this dip buy range on PBX. I'm still long for my 17 or 0.017 buy alert in the Telegram. So what is PBX, Paribus? Well, it's got a market cap pretty low at just 29 million. Another thing, this is a DEX built on Cardano, powered by Cardano. Invest in DeFi, redefine your yield. Obviously, DeFi is amazing. It's super easy to get your money in, get your money out, and earn. Okay, that's something that traditional banks don't have. You know, most of my money is in Chase Bank. I just try to get money out of Chase Bank, and to try to get money out of Chase Bank and put it into a crypto account was a pain in the fucking ass. And also, there's no earning and yielding that are significant inside of Chase Bank either. So I think think DeFi and DEX platforms are gonna be huge, and Cardano is one that's suppressed in price action. A lot of people don't like to buy things when they're down, and right now Cardano is down. It's been eating shit on a big, massive downtrend. So I think this is highly undervalued and creating a big dip buying opportunity for ADA and all the ADA DEXs that are going to be coming into place, whether they're in beta platform or already trading. A lot of them aren't even out yet. Like Sunday Swap is another one that I'm interested in. But right now, PBX is trading and we're seeing a lot of momentum and, exposure coming in. And I love the pattern. It's what we call a kryptonite pattern. It's a recently, ICO or IDO that's forming up a triangle breakout pattern prior to actually breaking out those all-time highs. And then that's when we see a massive freaking rip on these. So right now we're still pre-breakout of PBX, as well as Cardano is massively depressed. If Cardano sees any sort of bounce, this is going to freaking rip and we're going to make a shitload of money if we do buy the dip here, of which I currently have. And I think this has a lot of potential to continue to push up because ADA has just been eating a lot of poo-poo as of late. And when we see things eat a lot of poo-poo, especially a major player like ADA, typically this leads to a big buying opportunity and we see a big rebound. Brief interruption from today's sponsor, guys, dhive.finance. If you've ever been interested in yield farming and earning interest while staking your assets, but you don't know which coins to actually choose, well, dhive has got you covered. They have a multi-chain asset management protocol. And basically what they do is they create these things called clusters where you can actually stake a bunch of different coins at the same time. And one of the cool ones that I've seen right here is a poly gaming cluster. And you can see inside of here, it shows you all the top coins that they chose based on gaming and play to earn. And then you can take all those and stake them at the same time and earn a 129% APY by staking all those coins at the same time. So that's a really cool thing. Another thing that they just came out with is what they call Impulse. And this basically takes any earnings that you have from the interest from staking your coins. They take that earning and put it back into the underlying principal, and then you continually compound that interest automatically rather than having to manually actually put those earnings back into the staking. It's just going to automatically do that. So overall, dhive is a really cool platform. If you want to learn more about that, go to dhive.finance. So continuing on this theme of ADA DEXs, next up is Ergo, which has been on a massive dump as well. And I actually bought the dip on this in this range here to 920, and the currently low of this dip is 787. So we have this order block in the beginning of this first initial, push up on Ergo. And so there's a lot of demand, AKA support in this range where we could see a massive short squeeze, right? And if we actually flip the trend here on the 1320 and 9 on Ergo, the fact that we've seen this massive dip, I think we could easily double from 760 back up to a 14 level in a very short amount of time because it has been in such a massive sell-off. ADA starts pumping and starts getting any sort of buying pressure. Ergo is going to see a massive spike to the upside because it's also a relatively low market cap at 368 million. They're building a lot of stuff inside of what they call the Sigmaverse, which is your portal to the Ergo universe. And in particular, what I like is the Ergo DEX, which is decentralized exchange on Ergo and Cardano. Okay, so this is basically what you could consider another Cardano DEX. And I think Cardano DEXs are going to have yet to make their run because Cardano has been eating shit. But I think that's going to end at some point soon. So I'm looking for these other plays that are based on ADA DEXs. And the two top ones that I like so far right now are Paribus and Ergo. So I think both of those are good buy on the dip opportunities right now. Next coin I want to talk about here, guys, on the dip is BetU. If you haven't watched the video that I just released on BetU, it's a really cool online betting platform that rewards you in a crypto token, which is the BetU token. And you can easily just convert this within the platform on its own wallet back into USDT if you want to get back into cash or hold the BetU token. So it's kind of a multi-investment tool where you can bet and earn money in the BetU token, but you can also potentially be earning this BetU token in. If this appreciates in price, you could be earning a massive amount of money. So right now, I do like it that I did initially buy this on the dip at about 19 cents, and now it's had a spike up to about 29. Now it's dipping again. Before, I definitely think this could make an all-time high run and beyond, potentially upwards of $1. And in fact, the platform, the BetU Fantasy, did just launch. When I released the video, this platform had not launched yet. So it's now actually live to go to BetU Fantasy and start earning. If you hold 1,000 BetU tokens, you can earn in a prize pool where they give away $10,000 total, but in the large prize pool, they give away $7,500 every week. And in fact, I don't know anything about online gambling. It's not something I like to do. I was just messing around with it, and I actually won in the Premier League for Arsenal FC. I don't even know who that team is, but I bet on them and they won. And I actually earned 641 BetU tokens in return for that win. And all I was doing was using the BetU fantasy tokens, okay? 1,000 BetU fantasy tokens. I didn't have to bet any of my real tokens, so you don't actually lose anything. You either just don't win or you win. So it's an interesting platform on BetU. And so I definitely think this is suppressed in price action. And I think that this could potentially see a nice run up and break out all-time highs. So that's it for BetU. I definitely think it's still a good buy. I'm still holding my position on BetU. They just launched a platform for BetU Fantasy. Actual live betting platform for real money wagers is coming soon. So there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline for BetU. Another one, which is a really cool platform, is Seedify. Obviously, this has already made a massive run, and the ideal buy was back down here when it broke out over $1, and we saw a massive 500% run. But we're now forming up another triangular breakout pattern, and we're coming into the dip zone back in the 9 to 13 to 20 EMA support zone. And even though the market made a massive dump, Seedify didn't see any significant selling pressure, right? This is the market dump right here. All the other points that we are looking at, we saw massive, 5 to 20% declines, while Seedify really saw nothing. So there seems to be a lot of support or lack of selling on Seedify, which leads me to believe there's still, potential for this to see a breakout. And if it breaks out over these highs on this dip into these support levels over 540s, we can then see a massive run to my profit targets, because I did alert this in my Telegram group of 620, 720, and 820 are the profit targets for Seedify. And it's also just a really cool platform. The market cap is really low at 96 million. Look at the website. This is a launch pad for gaming in the crypto space. Okay, so I'm definitely bullish on gaming and crypto, and this is a launch pad. Obviously, it's already made a big run, but the fact that we didn't see any selling pressure when the market's all dumped leads me to believe that this is holding up in price action and potentially on the verge of a nice breakout over the 540s, which we can then lock in gains near our profit targets on Seedify. So I'm long Seedify currently. Another one, guys, is Senso. Okay, again, I'm big and bullish on the metaverse. And Senso is a very interesting one with a market clap that appears to be unknown on CoinGecko. So maybe it's so small it doesn't even exist for the market cap. Basically, it's just metaverse ecosystem. And one of the coolest things about it is they have different things. They have the Sensorium Galaxy, which brings real life experiences into a digital metaverse, a shared 3D virtual space for everyone to enjoy, get together, join high quality shows, and play immersive games in a safe, affordable global space. It looks really cool. And one of the things that's really cool that I think coming is the Prism featured artist, what they call Prism World. And so Prism World is a content hub for music performances and already confirmed destination for shows of world-class artists, including David Guetta, Carl Cox, Armin van Buuren, Black Coffee, Dimitri Vegas, and Like Mike, Eric Prides, and Charlotte DeWitt. So if you watch this video, it's basically they're creating a metaverse for live DJ shows. Obviously, the DJ space is massive. The music industry is massive. And I think the metaverse is going to be massive. And so for people who are not able to go to a show in California because they live in New York or they live in another freaking country, they can now potentially join some of these shows inside of the metaverse through VR, which would be actually pretty freaking crazy to actually do that. And especially if you could do it with your friends from all over the world. If you have VR headsets and you go to a fucking show and you're watching this show in the metaverse with headphones on and a VR headset. So that just sounds absolutely crazy. And that's what they're working on at Sensorium. And if we look at the chart here, I did get in here initially at the dip in the 70s down here that I alerted my Telegram. And now we're coming back down into the dip buying range of the 13 to 9 to 20 EMA. So I definitely think Sensorium is a strong buy in the dip, because I definitely think we have a much higher potential to go to hit my profit targets 120, 162, 191, and potentially all-time highs. I don't really know, but I'm long and bullish on Sensorium. It's oversold on the intraday chart and coming back down into the support level here on Sensorium. The next few, I just made a video about my top 3 metaverse games, which is one is Wild. I did get in Wild down here in the 170s to 180s and came back up, retested these previous highs here. So I was up, significantly about 30 to 40% on Wilder World. I haven't locked any gains because I do think this has much higher potential to hit my profit targets of 320 and 425 if we break out over this high. And we're now down in that strong dip buying range of the 13.9 and 20 EMA, where we could potentially see a massive dip buy bounce here to come up 40, 50%, upwards of another 90% to hit my profit targets on Wild. If you haven't watched that video, video yet, you can go ahead and look at my channel and look at for my top 3 metaverse games, which also includes Network, which also took a massive dump when the markets took a dump as well. I'm still long and strong. I do think this creates another strong buying opportunity. When we look at the intraday chart on Network, it's created a massive buying opportunity. And now we're back in this range of the buying opportunity where I think we could potentially come back up, retest the 269 level, and then potentially see a move towards all-time highs on Network. I definitely recommend watching my other video, which also included Star Atlas, which is also still on the dip for Star Atlas. If you go and watch my video on Star Atlas, you'll see how cool this freaking game looks. It's the best looking metaverse game as of yet that I've seen. So I'm definitely bullish on Star Atlas. Another reason why I'm very bullish on Star Atlas is because it's only traded on the FTX exchange, which means it hasn't hit KuCoin, which means it hasn't hit Binance, which means it hasn't hit Coinbase. It hasn't hit a lot of exchanges. And so really this is super under the radar on Star Atlas. And I definitely think we could see a massive run up, retesting those highs about 23 cents. I started getting long in this in the dip first time here, and I started adding again down here in the 9-cent range. I still think this has potential to see a massive run up on Star Atlas, coming back up and retest these highs back at 23 cents, potentially even the all-time highs, and go back upwards of 50 cents. So I'm still long and strong, and definitely think this is a strong dip buy on Star Atlas. Another one that I like is Sand, which is actually at a massive dump and then a pump throughout this freaking market crash, because there's always a liquidation event after we see a massive run up in crypto, which is partially good because it gets a lot of people shaken out that have large over leveraged positions. I in fact got stopped out on Sand. I'm not currently back in, but I'm looking for a buying opportunity. Maybe wait for this chart to settle up a little bit more and then potentially buy once we look a little bit more stable and we start breaking out back over the 88 range. And then that's when I think we can get back up to $1 and potentially move all-time highs over 119 and move towards $2 per share. But overall, Sand is probably one of the coolest looking games in the metaverse space. They got freaking Snoop Dogg building his mansion in there. Snoop Dogg's got like a club in there. Binance, Atari all have ad space and land that they purchased inside of Sandbox. So overall, Sand is awesome. And I'm definitely bullish on Sand. Currently, I got stopped out on that fucking dip right here. And my last and not least, Moon River coming back down into the 9 to 13 to 20 EMA. I definitely think this has potential to reach all-time highs by the end of the year if we break out over this kind of channel pattern. And over here in the dip buying range between the 9, 13, and 20, I do like this as a dip buy. But anyways, guys, that's the dip buying opportunities that I'm seeing right now across the market. Of course, who knows what's going to happen with the Bitcoins if we do see a pullback. If Bitcoin and Ethereum continue to eat shit, party's over, altcoins aren't going to run, you need to have your stops in place, you need to protect yourself. And as always, like I did on One, like I did on Sol, I locked in gains on the way up, and I'm very pleased that I did that. Unfortunately, I didn't lock in gains when I had 60% gains on Paribus and Wild, which I was up significantly on both. Doesn't mean that these patterns are over. All that means is that it's taking more time to consolidate to break out all-time highs on these, because overall, the patterns are still extremely bullish pre-breakout before the actual big moves have occurred. We just got in very, very early. If you want to get in early on all my alerts, definitely join the Telegram group, which is called the Wolf Pack. Down below, there's going to be a link. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. See you in the next one. Let's buy the dip and watch it rip.
Know what I'm saying?